Don't be scared to take a stand. Like sometimes people feel that just because you have a public platform, you shouldn't say this, you shouldn't say that. I think you should stand by what you believe in. And if it's your opinion, it's your opinion. Feel free to put it out there. My feedback from my mom who listens to it is, you say fuck too much. It's like, yeah, okay, sorry.
Fuck.
Hi, Roshan. How are you doing?
I am full power. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. This is only my second ever Insta Live. So this is exciting.
Exciting is your podcast as well. And the name is much more exciting. Agla Station
Adulthood. Yeah.
How did you come up with this name? What was the thinking behind this name?
The whole concept of the show came up because we said adulthood is like a journey and you keep having to stop and learning new things. And sometimes we used to make jokes. We're like, oh, like, shit, I got off at the wrong station. I got off at the wrong stop. This is like a mistake that I made in life. So that's where the concept of the show came from. And then when she was joking because she does a really good imitation of the train announcer like you just did.
Okay.
And that's how we came up with the name.
How do you decide your topics?
I'll be honest, we have run into many times where we've been like, what do we talk about? Like, pata nahi, I don't know. You don't know. But you know, you need to find something because we want to do the episode. So what we've taken to doing is Rytasha says one word. She'll be like, you know, I'm feeling like this today. And then I'm like, okay, that's cool. I'm going to research how we can fix that into like an adulthood journey thing, how we can find some research, some statistics around it. And then we sort of like, you know, Lego ki tarah, like you have to keep building the episode little by little.
जैसे आप लोग दोनों एक साथ बात करते हो, मेरा पॉडकास्ट बड़ा सिंपल है, मेरे को अकेले रिकॉर्ड करना पड़ता है. And
I don't know how you do it.
मतलब radio jockeying has helped me, I think, to talk.
Yeah, that's true. But
so
your whole idea and the premise is so good because it's so positive. Like I heard a couple of the episodes and it's just you telling us how great, how different people are doing things across the country and internationally. And it was really fun to listen to your show because I was like, hey, I didn't know that guy did that. This officer ne ye kiya, isko help kiya. Like mini shows like yours also exist because it gives the listener that 5 minutes of a positivity boost to be like, I can do it. I can do something good. I'm going to have a good day. There's good people in the world. It's great. I really enjoyed it.
Let me play a game with you. This is Roshan's Rapid Fire. Five podcasters that you look up to.
I'd say Conan O'Brien needs a friend. I really liked Two Dope Queens, which is kind of inspiration point for Rytasha and me both. I love Caliphate, which was a New York Times it was a podcast series about ISIS. That's a great one. I really like the GABCD show that we have on that IVM has as well, which is I love the format that they have and it's just so free flowing as a conversation. And yeah, I think
Roshan
four.
Shetty.
The Roshan Shetty. Chalo. On my, you have entered my new podcast list of listening.
Okay. Next question. 4 things that you need to keep in mind while creating a podcast.
Make sure that you're going to be comfortable either talking only by yourself because that gets a bit stressful. So if you're not comfortable with that, definitely have a partner or a guest kind of routine in place. I like to say that you should have some structure for your episode. So before you go onto your episode, at least have a start and end point. How you get there doesn't really matter. That's on you, but you should have a start and end point. Another thing that I would say is don't be scared to take a stand. Like sometimes people feel that just because you have a public platform, you shouldn't say this, you shouldn't say that. I think you should stand by what you believe in. And if it's your opinion, it's your opinion. Feel free to put it out there. I think another one is definitely, and this is something that I wish I had remembered before we got into this, was have a month or 2 month plan as to how your episodes are going to go.
3 mistakes that one should not do while recording a podcast.
I think when you have a guest on the show, definitely talk to the guest a lot longer than just 15 minutes before. Because without like naming anything, but we've had a guest where the guest like had to pause it in the middle and say that, you know, I'm not feeling this vibe. I'm not feeling right. Like, I feel like we should switch it up.
Yes.
And I was like, oh shit, we should have spoken about this before. So that you know what your guest is comfortable with and not. That's definitely one thing to be careful about. Try to curse less, which a lot of networks will also tell you. In general, I think it's not, because you don't know how young your audience or old your audience
who's
might
listening
be.
to you.
Yeah.
And who's listening to you, you don't understand that as well.
Yeah, my feedback from my mom who listens to it is, you say fuck too much. I was like, yeah, okay, sorry.
But
Again, something that Rytasha and I have to be careful about is making sure that we don't have, that we're very honest with each other on air. Because our platform is a conversation between two friends, we have disagreed on air many times, but we just have to remember to keep it like respectful, but also remember that she and I are friends. So sometimes we might say things to each other that it's okay because it's in a friendship and we can get past it. But sometimes listeners might not understand
the entire universe.
Yeah, you can end up offending someone without even realizing it, or without intending to offend someone. So you should be careful about that. If that's a platform which you have is a conversational, idea.
Two hatke things about your podcast.
I don't think we've ever said no to a topic. So no matter how, even sometimes if she and I have had an argument over putting a topic out there, like for example, our sex episode, I wasn't comfortable with it. And I was like, I don't want to talk about it, but we had a conversation and then we found a way to make it work. When I wanted to talk about like religion and faith and things like that, she was like, I don't know how we'll approach it, this, that, but then we realized that it's important. So there's no topic that we don't discuss, and we've always told our listeners, if you have suggestions, tell us, we'll find a way to discuss it. And the other thing is, we are actually genuinely best friends. Like, nice. there's no acting, there's no pretense, there's no pre-set up jokes, nothing.
One last question. What is the one thing that this journey of the 40 episodes or the 40 odd episodes has taught you?
That sometimes the smallest thing can have an impact on someone. And even when you think that you're not doing that much, if you've just made the effort to be a decent and good person, it will help someone. Like for me, I think after we did our LGBTQIA episode, some people reached out, and specifically, I think one person reached out and said that your episode was like, just the way that you guys talk about love and being who you are and being okay with who you are. It helped them like speak to their parents. And I was shocked because I was like, मैंने तो कुछ कहा भी नहीं है. Like, I have said nothing. I don't even think that, I think that we can do so much more to be like a better ally and all of that stuff. But someone reached out and said that, dude, you helped me come out to my parents or like speak to them about it. Somebody said they helped with a breakup, financial. And anytime we do that, it makes me feel like whatever stress or like irritation that you have from the podcast, sometimes recording, this, that, the other, you get discouraged. Once in a while, you get those DMs and you're like, nay, it was worth it. We did a good job. We did a good thing. Somebody is happy because of the show. Yeah. Pat yourself on the back.
Pat on your back. Any one advice that you want to give to podcasters or budding podcasters who are watching us live?
I would say, oh God, see, I can keep talking. I have to stop myself. But I will say one of the things that you should definitely, the intent, as long as you have, like, be sure of your intent going into a podcast, going into a show, whatever it's going to be about. You should have a clear-cut intent of this is what I want to say with my voice, with my platform, and these are the people I want to say it to. Because the minute you have these two things and you understand that this message is intended for XYZ group, you'll be able to develop that voice better, and you'll be able to expand that group as well. So sometimes what we get confused with is, I know for a fact, like there are times when we get confused about who we're talking to, where you know, we want to do something very heavier. We want to talk about something way more serious, and then we have to remind ourselves that sometimes maybe not everyone cares about the same issues that you do, and if our audience is in a certain bracket, then maybe we shouldn't talk about it. But then we remind ourselves that, but the intent was never to, like, our intent was never to care about whether somebody wanted to hear it or not. Our intent has always been, this is what we want to say to young people in our country. So we're going to say it. So it just depends on, I think having your intent set in the beginning will really help you carry it out smoothly.
And that's Agla Station Adulthood. Everyone who's watching us live, please go and listen to our podcast. And also my 11th episode of Roshan Shetty's Full Power Show has been released on Spotify, Ghana, everywhere. So jaake sun lena.
And it was so nice being on the show. Thank you so much for having me.
Same here. Thank you so much, Baba. And take care. Do you stay in Mumbai? Where do you stay?
Yeah, Bombay. Very much a Bombay.
So once the lockdown is done, we'll have a coffee or a tapri ka chai in Mumbai.
Definitely. Take care till then.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.